Hey Leos, and welcome to your August 2018 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. And wow, Leos, I am really happy to be here as I see a huge shift coming in your energy and a lot of recharging, a lot of renewing taking place within you as you come into your solar return time. I knew that I had to do your reading first this month. I felt really drawn to it, and I feel really wonderful as I'm stepping into your energy for sure. Um, we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of highs and lows I feel coming up. There's a lot of, all across the board type of energies as I don't feel Leos to necessarily be placed in a really easy position of life, a really difficult position of life. Everything feels very disconnected in the sense that you might be struggling to place what is good in your life, what is bad in your life, what you want, what you don't want. I feel Leo to be a bit pulled in different directions and a bit indecisive about what they're trying to do. But I do sense that this month of August does clarify what you need, what you don't need. And I also feel that you are asked by the universe to start to decide and to start to allow yourself to associate things with what you want them to be. So I see a lot of Leos finally understanding how to categorize things in their life, finally sort of finding the purpose, finally seeing something that's not so bland anymore. It doesn't feel like a bland month at all. It feels very high octane for some of you, and it also feels very empowering and purposeful. When I stepped into your energy, Leo, what I kept feeling was this strong awakening happening. I do feel like you're waking up to something this month that is so emphasized. Something is being really illuminated and made more obvious. So I definitely sense that any problem areas are going to really show themselves. Any secrets and lies, I feel like will definitely show themselves. This has been something that Leo has been dealing with for all of this year, actually, is sort of a slow illumination of things which were once sort of occluded from your vision. So I feel like that peaks here. I feel like there's a peak of vision and sight of what you once could not see before. And I do sense that after this month, things could start to become a little bit less obvious or a little bit less easy to see if they're not addressed here. So we have an incredible opportunity and chance for Leo in August to address things which are seen. So I feel like the only thing not to do this month is to cover your eyes, to blindfold yourself, to convince yourself that problem areas are not problems, or to repress things. Really don't be afraid this month of being direct and of saying things, of speaking your truth, of being honest. I feel like there is a fear of honesty within Leo. I'm not saying that you all are lying or being deceptive, but there is a possibility there for some of you, and I think that you have a really great opportunity to be honest and to honor yourself. Because I always talk about, like, with honesty and honor, there have the same root word. So honor, honesty. Whenever you feel like you have to be dishonest, whenever you feel like you have to lie to people, you are by default dishonoring yourself. So you could be dishonoring yourself by choosing to maintain a situation where you can't be honest. I feel like a lot of Leos feel like they had to lie or that they could not be truthful without causing a major problem in their environment. So some of you might have sort of been being a martyr or have been untruthful for the sake of maintaining peace. And I feel like this is the month where those types of charades do drop. So you'll have the opportunity, I think, to leave that type of situation behind, to re-enter into a place where honesty and transparency is more possible. And also, I feel that to be a test and lesson for some of you as well, in the sense that will you be happy to finally have honesty? Will you be ready to take that chance to walk through that doorway where honesty can happen? Because Leo it can be a pretty good liar if it has to go there. And sometimes it can convince itself that it has to be that way when it doesn't actually. So definitely sit with yourself and think about what honesty means to you, even if you've not been in a situation sorry guys, I'm losing my voice. Even if you've not been in a situation where you've really had to lie or you've had to be deceptive, do think about what honesty means to you and how has it been from other people. Have people been honest to you? Have people honored you in that way? Or have people been insincere or dishonest in some way? And I think that Leo can see this very clearly. And that's been happening for a while. Leo's had a pretty strong X-ray vision, almost like Scorpio, in the sense that you can see when people are not being truthful to you. But you have been a little bit flummoxed, I feel like, at how you deal with that. And like when you see that someone's being dishonest with you, like, do you directly point that out, or do you give it some time to see if it clears itself up? I do feel like you have to be quite direct this month. So definitely think about what your standards are relating to honesty and how much dishonesty or deception has really broken your heart. I do feel like Leo is addressing heartbreak this month. You have that Three of Swords in reversed, and my eyes have really been drawn to that section of the reading for you. So I do think you are really elaborating to yourself what has caused your heart to be so out of alignment, or what has caused your heart to not feel healthy. Some of you have felt very brokenhearted, and you're figuring out why. And not just the obvious things, not just the, yes, that person cheated on me and that broke my heart, but like how you really found yourself in that situation. So Leo is being a bit retrospective this month. At the same time, that doesn't need to be the majority of your experience this month. So it's going to happen. It's going to be a little bit necessary. You have that Five of Cups as well. So you are pushing your attention towards what has not worked and what has gone awry, with the hopes of shedding light and gaining wisdom to where you don't have to be back there again. And that's very supported. Also, though, Leo, aside from these more subtle and darker aspects of life, I do sense you gaining. So waking up, seeing light, and changing a situation, or starting to change a situation in August. So by September, by October, you could see that you're doing things quite differently. You could see that you're operating from a different home base. You could see that everything has changed through what you do here. So definitely don't be afraid to get into the detail with that, and to decide what that needs to look like for you, because I do feel like it's a bit inevitable for all Leos. So since all Leos September and October are having quite changed circumstances, and the only Leos I sense being unhappy with that or struggling with that are the Leos who kind of ignored the possibility here in August to really put that together, to really put that change together in a way that you wanted it to be. So you have that ability here. Don't waste it, I feel like, is very important. Because there are going to be decisions. They're hard decisions relating to that change. That is definitely emphasized, but they're also the types of decisions that you look back on as really wonderful decisions, or not as difficult as you made it in the moment. So don't be afraid of those things which come forward. Don't be afraid of the things which feel difficult to decide on right now. Just go with your gut, go with your honesty, go with your transparency, go with your honor. Again, Leo is a very honor oriented sign, very lots of pride, very proud, very honorific in its higher evolution. In a lower evolution, Leo can be very proud and dishonest, or dishonorable, very proud of its dishonor, whereas in its higher evolution, it gets very proud of its honor. So I feel like Leo is making these decisions this month and choosing which side it wants to be on. And it feels all about speaking your truth. It feels all about equating that to others, and all about understanding the reality of why you faced that difficult situation earlier this year. Or for some of you, it could even stretch back longer than that. But you're tying things up here. You're pushing them out to the past through facing them. And without further ado, Leos, I'm going to get into the week to week during this birthday month for you, this solar return month. Week number 1 in August, you have King of Pentacles reversed, rooted down by Five of Cups. So financial changes, I definitely sense that. Some of you might make a bit less this month, but I don't feel that's permanent. Don't freak out too much. Don't freak out if you feel a change in career oncoming, or even a change in relationship with someone who was like very wealthy, or it could even be like platonic relationships with people in your career, like your boss or your coworkers. I feel like something there is not quite what you want it to be, but I wouldn't focus too much on that. I wouldn't focus too much on relationships with people of material. So people who have everything that you've wanted, that you're relating with, who aren't quite connecting. It's not something that needs to be too strong in your mind right now because you're generating that yourself. I also sense this to be having overspent for some of you. It could be, so definitely keep your budget in mind. King of Pentacles is all about material wealth, material well-being, and fortitude. Five of Cups is about regrets. So some of you are regretting the way that you used your mental, or I'm sorry, your financial and material strength. So it's still there. It feels like you have more than you think that you do, and it feels like you are reminded of that quite often. But I feel like a positive way to use the energy that's there in the first week is to, yes, see where things went wrong, see where the tangible things in your life, even the people in your life, where those regrets were, why those regrets happened, and ultimately come out of this week ready to look at what you do have versus what you don't have, with a plan of how to better utilize that. So Leos, week number 2, the Lovers reversed, rooted down by 3 of Wands reversed. You're having to make decisions about people that are long overdue. Some of these people aren't really that relevant in your life anymore, but there's something that's untied. Some of you are wanting closure. That's a lot of it for some of you. So for those of you who had like the breakup that you still haven't gotten over, you're like craving that closure, or you're wanting to like reach out and apologize or demand apologies. It's hard to let go of something. That's an overwhelming thing for this month. There's something that's hard to let go of. You know, we went through Cancer time, and now I see Leo kind of grasping onto something and needing something to be a certain way. And the fixed signs, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, have been having this in some type of way due to that Jupiter retrograde we had, where the grasping has rewarded you in some way and given you something through enduring and through holding on to something. You got something really incredible, and now that's kind of being applied in places where it might not necessarily need to be applied. So think about what you're holding on to, which is actually harmful to your health. And for some of you, this could be addictive cycles. For some of you, this could be relationships. And what I think is ultimately the best decision is to have made some small decision relating to your overall placement in life, but being able to come into this week and seeing these small minutia decisions as unnecessary, and even potentially bypassing them, I feel, for some of you. So this isn't a matter of repressing. This isn't a matter of being depressed or feeling a lack of power, because sometimes when Leo has to bypass something or sort of scrap something, I feel like you're scrapping an idea, you've put money into a business idea and you're just kind of scrapping it. Leo sometimes associates this with failure, or associates this with not being true or honest to themselves, when sometimes in life we have to do that to be true and honest to yourself. I feel that to be the case for some of you. All Leos in August should have left something behind, or should have scrapped something. And don't go trigger happy with that type of thing. There are things that I feel that you need in your life, which you have started to establish. But you'll know moving into August, especially during that second week, that one thing that needs to be bypassed. And I can articulate a little bit more, or be a bit more specific. It feels to be relationship for a lot of Leos, and it feels to be someone who's had their back turned on you, that has not been very accessible, but you keep trying to access them. This isn't going to be right for all Leos, but for those of you who it does resonate for, it's about bypassing and scrapping the people who keep their backs turned on you, and not trying to adhere to them and serve to them when they do not face you. Does that make sense? And for another group of Leos, it could be about jobs and work that doesn't just ever seem like it embraces you. So you keep trying with this project, you keep trying with these sales or whatever it is, and they just don't really seem to come together. Like, it feels like its back is turned on you. That could be for some of you. It could be a message that you need to move on to new territories. In the third week, Queen of Cups reversed, rooted down by 3 of Swords reversed. Okay, so a complete sort of recalibration of the emotional sensors within Leo. You're crying about things that you've never cried about before. You're laughing at things that you never once found funny. You're angry at things that you used to enjoy. There is a redoing, a reorientation to what emotional stimulus is to Leo. This can be a bit shocking, especially to us control freaks who like to be like very self-aware, very controlled, very planned. When we start to see that what we used to consider nostalgic is now annoying, and all of these things are just kind of a surprise. I feel this to actually be very beautiful, though, Leo, where you see that something that you thought you were burned out on actually starts to give you the type of joy that you never had before, or you see that someone who you thought would never give you the time of day again suddenly is trying to access you in some way. There are a lot of ways where this type of predictive orientation, where you like know how you're going to feel, you know it's going to happen, you're being strategic. There are times where that not going in your favor is a huge blessing from the universe. There are times where it feels like a big inconvenience, but really try to embrace unpredictability in the third week and see how that is actually very healing to your heart. Leo's heart is emphasized, so heart health is emphasized. Heart healing is emphasized, so thinking of the heart chakra, maybe doing a bit of research on healing the heart chakra, and not being too stimulated, watching out for too much caffeine, trying to not over-exercise, over-exert. It's important for Leos to think about their hearts right now. We've had all these eclipses. We had that eclipse last year in your sign at 29 degrees of your sign, and there are things that kind of touch that in a weird way now. So it's going to be very important to think about the heart, the spine, the central nervous system, and not being scared. Don't be scared, Leos. Don't let this frighten you. But giving attention and doing things which are good for those structures in your body. All of these central aspects of the body are very ruled by Leo, and I feel that this is a time to become aware of them and to communicate with them, to give them what they need. So no forcing yourself to do anything in the third week, Leo. No huge conflicts would be great. A slower, more relaxed pace, while at the same time not being like bedridden and not like you need to get your heart pumping, but the heart needs to heal a little bit. The inner structures of you need to heal a little bit in this week, and some recommendations for how to do that. Giving yourself what you actually need, not thinking, okay, I want to have a 3-day drunken bender and I'm going to give myself that because that's what I need, but what you actually need. Giving yourself tough love, Leo. Oh my god, that's what you need in August, is tough love. The people who cannot give you tough love in your life need to not be around so much, and the people who can are the people that you need, because you need love, but you don't need pandering. You don't need someone to just give you whatever you want, because this is a big thing for Leo, and I'm so proud this finally came up, because I haven't understood how to articulate this. I felt this, but it was not coming up. Leo does not need to necessarily get what they want this month. You've recognized that within your desires lays a self-sabotage, so it's time to get the people who are tough loving around you. It's time to see that within yourself, to give yourself tough love first and foremost, because not for all Leos are there going to be those types of contacts, so I don't want you to be discouraged if you can't find people in your life who are tough loving. But you have got to step into a place by the third week, within the third week of August, where you are giving yourself what you actually need and not tricking yourself in that way. So tough love and redirecting the fear that you have with that, because I do sense a fear. I sense a fear within Leo where they're like, I'm scared that I can't actually give myself what I actually need, and I'm just going to succumb to an addictive cycle, or succumb to my desires, even if the desires are not good for me. You just have to allow yourself to sit with yourself. Can you sit in silence, Leo? Can you have just a dialogue with yourself? Can you sit without looking at the screen, or without doing work? There's a fear to be still. Be still with yourself, be prudent with yourself, and listen to what your body needs, and you'll fix everything. It'll happen quickly. There will be a really quick healing period, but beware of desire becoming self-sabotage. Okay, but that's a big thing for you guys. Week number 4, Leos, the Hierophant reversed, rooted down by 7 of Cups. I'm not surprised to see that for you all, because when you have this type of, I can't decide what's good or bad, I can't decide what's healthy or unhealthy, I can't decide what's positive or negative in my life, it does make you start to rethink your life at a spiritual perspective. It makes you start to rethink what you are thinking about spiritually. So I sense a shift in spirituality. I sense a shift in religion. I also sense again, an awakening, an ascension. Seven of Cups deals with untruthfulness. It deals with delusionment or disillusionment. It deals with being so focused on what's outside that the inside goes into shadow. So you see that within yourself, and you see that within the people around you. You see that very reflected in your experience, and you start to think, okay, something's not right. I've got to change what I convey to be the meaning of life. Is the meaning of life to me money? Is the meaning of life to me love? And what has orienting that as the center goal and center fixed focus of my life brought me in reality? And then within that moment, Leo, I really see your central theme of the sun coming through and illuminating the complexity of your life, in a sense that you don't necessarily have to be on like this linear path towards one goal or this linear idea of what you made a long time ago, and that you must allow flexibility to come in. You're a fixed sign. Once you establish a goal, once you get on a path, it's very hard for you to scrap that or to change direction, because it becomes a matter of your honor. It becomes a matter of your soul ability, and you think to change that will be you denying that, when in reality, lacking the flexibility and succumbing to rigidity is one of the most dishonorable things you can do to yourself. So I want you to remember that. And it's not going to be right for all Leos. Some of you are enjoying your path. Congratulations. Some of you are really thriving from it. But for those of you who know that the current path is not working, you've got to remember that flexibility and second thoughts are much more honorable for you right now. And I would also really encourage you guys to remember your luck right now. It is your solar return time of the year. It's your birthdays. The fact that the sun has come up as your central theme is a very good sign, and a very what's the right word? It's a very auspicious, yes, but it's reinforcing. That's what I'm looking for. It's a reinforcement and a encouragement and an allyship, I feel, from the universe, a support network energetically for you to alter the direction towards something that you've always wanted, to something that is more right for you. It's not the type of energy that I see where someone realizes that and then fails, or like they try to change the path and that becomes equally as difficult. This is the type of energy where someone, through trusting themselves and through maintaining their soul's purpose, shifts path, trusts the universe, and thrives within that. So do remember that. And for the Leos who have already done this, some of you have already done this, and you're sort of being like, yeah, I remember this. I am so happy I made my decision. Congratulations. I would love to see some stuff in the comment section about how that's worked for you and some encouragement. That would be wonderful. I'm really wishing you guys a lot of love and light. This month is important for you in the sense that decisions, if they haven't already been made yet, need to come to the forefront. Wonderful month for gifts, though. Wonderful month for surprises and thriving through surprises and waking up and smelling the coffee. I feel like it's really beautiful. I hope that I haven't made it sound too negative, but I do feel some hard choices might have to be made, and I feel that you benefit incredibly through making them. Anyway, Leo, it's been an honor to be here. You guys are the first one out this month, and I'm hoping that you really enjoy yourselves. If you haven't gotten the chance yet to subscribe to my channel, I would so appreciate that. I do these readings every month, and I post a lot of videos that are just astrological or healing in nature, and I would love it if you would subscribe and hit that bell for the notifications. Also, you can check the center of the screen to check out my Patreon page, get these readings early and ad-free, and you can check the description box. I am on different social media, and yeah, we will be talking in September, Leos. I can't believe it's already this far into 2018. Much love. Talk soon. Bye.